So you're going to install speakers into your Bronco and you want to install components in the front instead of coaxials? Stick around, we've got something to show you. Hey everybody, Mike here with Trail 7. So we showed you previously how to install a full speaker bundle into your Bronco. And we use coax speakers. Well, in case you're wanting to install component speakers, today we're going to show you how easy those are to install. So we have Alpine S65 speakers here in front of me. This is a full component set. As you see, it is exactly how it's going to come from Trail 7. We're going to mount the speaker into the bracket for you. We're going to connect all of the connectors with the kick panel speaker. We're going to install the bracket. We're going to attach all the connectors. So everything is ready to go plug and play out of the box when you receive it from us. We're going to show you how easy this is to install. So now you'll need a couple of very simple tools for that, which we'll show you right here. All right, now let's go ahead and get this component speaker system installed into your Bronco. All right, so before we start the installation, of course, we need to deinstall. So we're going to go ahead and remove the trim panels, remove the grab handles, remove the pieces that are required to get the factory speakers out of there. Obviously, we took the door off here just for ease of what we have going on in the studio for filming. You don't need to take the door off, obviously. If you want to, by all means, but it's not necessary at all to do this. Let's go ahead and do the top speaker first. So with the panel removal tool, we're just going to pop this screen off of here. This is up, you can just lift it, and it'll pop right out. So I'm going to remove this factory speaker. There are two 7mm screws on each side. Let's go ahead and get those removed. You're going to go ahead and remove the factory speaker and then disconnect the OEM connector from it, which in order to do so, you can push this little button right here and just pull out. We're going to go ahead and install the dash speaker now. And since it's a component set, the wiring needs to connect from the dash speaker tweeter down to the mid-bass driver, which is at the foot panel area. So we're going to go ahead and feed this wire through the channel. And you're just going to dangle this wire through and just keep pushing it all the way. And then later we can reach underneath and grab it from the bottom. Also, we're going to do the factory connector. You can just tuck this inside here. And that's enough buried in there. Now we can go ahead and set the speaker. You have these little tabs, pins that the holes of the bracket are going to set over. That's what holds them to place. And of course the screw gets screwed back in as well. Now using our 7mm socket, you're going to screw these back in. We can go ahead and put the cover back on. Now let's move down to the foot speaker area. All right, so the top dash component speaker is installed. That wire is ran or it's dropped through like we showed you. We're going to go ahead and grab that wire. So what we're going to do in order to get the lower kick panel speaker out now is remove the grab handle, these trim pieces, this trim piece here, and there's also a dead paddle that's a part of that. There's two 10mm bolts that we're going to have to remove and a trim piece off of that. So we're going to show you those steps in detail, but that's just high level what we're going to remove in order to get to that speaker. So let's go ahead and get that started. All right, so we're going to start with removing this top panel off here first with your panel removal tool. Stick it to the edge. Pop that off just like that. And you'll see two 10mm bolts underneath here. One's down here, and there's another one up on top here. We're going to go ahead and get these bolts off of here. We're going to go ahead and remove this speaker grill now. This just pops right off. There's one clip behind here and two little tabs that are holding it in. So with your panel removal tool, stick it behind here. It pops that out very easily. And two tabs come right out. And there you go. All right, so first we're going to remove the grab handle here. We're going to use a T30 Torx bit to get these 4 bolts out. And to remove this, just grab a hold of it, pull the bottom side out, and the whole thing just comes right out like that. Next, we're going to remove this trim panel piece here. That just lifts right up. It pops right out just like that. Next, we're going to remove this top trim panel piece, which is also attached to this bottom piece. You can use your trim panel removal tool. Go from the top here. Pull it down. Start pulling the tabs off. And now this piece inside will just come off as one piece. You just push out. All right, so there's these 3 screws that need to be removed from the outer bracket. There's one behind here, one up top, one on the bottom. Let's go ahead and get that one in the back first. Lower the speaker down. To remove it, there's this little connector on here. Just press right inside this little part here and pull it right out of the speaker. All right, now we need to grab the wire from the component dash tweeter, which we dropped down into that hole up above earlier. You can just reach up here so you can feel the wire, and here it is. Just go ahead and pull the wire down. And that's about as much as you need from that, because the other wire is attached to the speaker that we're going to connect to these connectors here. So what we need to do is, the speaker is going to come prepped with the connections already attached. It's going to have the main speaker wire that's going to attach to the OEM connection. And it's going to have this wire here that has the crossover built in. And this is going to connect to the wire that we dropped down from the top dash. But first, what you want to do is route these 2 connectors through the speaker hole, and through the bottom there's a little groove here. We're going to grab the wire that's attached to the speaker that has the 2 clear spade connectors on there, which are going to connect to the wire that's coming down from the dash. So feed this in from the top. Pull it out from the bottom. And pull that crossover out from the bottom as well. So let's go ahead and attach this male to this female connector here. And go ahead and connect this male and female connector here. And what we'll do is, once the speaker is in the housing and once it's mounted, we can zip tie this extra slack up top there. Let's go ahead and get the other speaker wire connected. So this speaker wire is going to connect to the factory OEM connection. I'm just going to attach these 2 connections. And now everything is fully connected. So we can go ahead and set the speaker back into the housing. Once that's set and the wires are pinched, go ahead and screw this back in. So there's one on the bottom, one on the top, and one on the back. Go ahead and just get this bottom one just to hold the speaker up. Put it there loosely till we get the other ones. Go ahead and start the one in the back. We can go back and tighten down the other 2. So now we're just going to manage the cabling here. There's plenty of places, as you can see, to strap the cable. So really it's just a matter of finding a spot that is easiest for you. I'm just going to, actually I'll just tuck this crossover into the bottom of the cavity here. And this wire, it was zip tied right up top here. And just cut the extra slack off. Make sure you don't cut the cable. Now you're ready to put everything back together on the driver's side. It's time to button up all the trim pieces and be done with this side. Before you do that, I recommend just a quick power test and make sure that you have sound from both speakers, top and bottom. So we've done that. We're good to go. We're going to go ahead and put the trim panel pieces back on, which we're going to start with this lower piece, which has the dead pedal plastic trim piece attached to it. Remember, you have the two 10mm bolts to put back in, so let's go ahead and start with that. We're going to start with the larger piece that has the dead pedal attached to it. Now where the bolts screw into the dead pedal, there are two posts on the bottom of the floorboard that do need to poke out through the hole. So you have to get these lined up. The best way to line this up, this is what I found, is just stick your finger in the bottom and find the hole, and then match that up with the posts, and then you can press it in. The top should press right in also. Once that's in, you can just start snapping the pieces down, which really these bolts are what's going to secure that in. So we can go ahead and get those bolts in since we're here. All right, so this is already snapped down. We're going to go ahead and snap this top piece down here as well. Just like that. You go ahead and put this trim panel piece back on. Like that. Now we're going to go ahead and put the grab handle back on. So we get these trim panel pieces put back in. One down here, and then the grill, speaker grill as well. Your tabs. There you go. Driver's side done. All right, the driver's side is complete. We're going to move over to the passenger side now and do the same exact thing. Literally, it's the same process, the grab handle, the trim pieces, etc. The only thing that's different over there is there's less to do because there isn't that dead panel piece to remove, so you don't have those two 10mm bolts. But we're going to go ahead and do that, so let's move over there now. All right, we're over here on the passenger side. We're going to install those component speakers over here. Same thing that we did on the driver's side. We're going to remove the top panel off of the top speaker. We're going to remove the grab handle. We're going to remove the trim pieces here, and that's going to expose the lower kick panel speaker. We'll remove that speaker. Let's go ahead and get started, and we'll start with the top speaker. Let's go ahead and take this passenger side speaker grill off. Two 7mm screws need to come out. Now I can pull the speaker out and disconnect the factory connection. Same as on the driver's side. Just push this tab. Similarly as we did on the driver's side, we're going to push the cable, we're going to push the wire just down into the cavity here, which this is actually bigger than on the driver's side. This drops directly down pretty much right behind the glove box. We're just going to drop that wire down in there. You can tuck the factory connector in there like we did on the driver's side. This just drops down. There's only one place for it to drop down, so just let it drop down in there. Now you're going to line up the holes and the little posts. Put the speaker grill back on. And now we're going to move down into the lower kick panel speaker. So in order to remove the speaker down below here and connect the component speaker from up top, you go ahead and remove this glove box That'll give us access to the cable, the wire that we dropped down. There's 2 tabs on the inside here, or 2 tabs on the outside, sorry. Push those tabs to lower it down, and then it is attached by a little arm on the right side. You just keep on pulling down, it'll disconnect it from that. Gonna remove the grab handle. Just the same 4 bolts, using a T30 to remove that. The same, just lift the bottom out and pull it out. Gonna remove this trim panel piece here. Just lifts right up. Next, we're gonna pull this grill off of here. Just makes it easier to remove this full trim piece. Now we're going to remove these 3 screws that are holding in the speaker bracket. Lower the speaker by pressing on this tab here. Speaker comes right out. So this is the wire that we pushed out, obviously, right? Awesome that it just dangled down below there. And I'll do the same thing like I did on that side. All right, now that the glove box is out, here's the wire that we pushed through the top dash. This is what's going to connect to the lower speaker. We do the same thing like we did on the other side. We're going to route this cabling through the speaker housing here to have it come out the bottom. So how that's out the bottom. And what we can do is tuck this connector inside through the bottom. Pull it up on top like this. We can go ahead and connect these 2 connectors together. I'm going to leave this out here because these 2 are going to connect. We're going to route this wiring inside here a little bit, and then this will connect inside there. Right now what we can do is we can go ahead and sit the speaker into its place. We can screw it in. So here's the wire from the top speaker. There's a little channel on the inside, right side of the glove box here. I'm just going to lay this cable inside there. You can zip tie it down to, there's a couple of other little wires in here that you can certainly zip tie this wire to. Just going to lay it down in there for now. And then just find the best path down to pull the wire down here. And what you'll do is connect these 2 together, male to female, male to female. Then we can just tuck the crossover and the slack into the cavity below the speaker. There's plenty of space there. And of course, then we can zip tie this to the side here. And that's it. It's the same thing like on the driver's side. You want to give it a quick sound test just to make sure the speakers work top and bottom before we put everything back together. We're going to go ahead and get our glove box put back into place. And this little arm just pushes right back into the post. Get our speaker grill back on. Get And let's get our last trim panel piece put back. Now our grab handle. There you go. Passenger speaker's done. All right, everybody. We finished installing the component speakers into the Bronco. We used Alpine's S series. Hope you saw how easy that was. If you'd like to pick up your component series speakers, visit us at www.trail7.com. Until next time, we'll see you out there.